So you might have heard that there has been a drop in the ongoing attempt by the people to get access to files about a certain person who trafficked young children and was allegedly took their own life in prison prior to being prosecuted for this scheme that involved this person who was supposed to have had a large space of a body of land surrounding water and a large plane and jet, and worked with a lot of different other co-conspirators to provide access to young girls and boys for exploitation of these young people. I'm speaking in code because I want you to see this video and I don't want this video to be suppressed. So what I'm going to do is on my website, jjlegal.com, the files, I'm going to put a link you'll be able to see of the documents that Midas Touch Network actually shared and been sharing on social. You might have seen it already. I'm just sharing the legal perspective and what I think this means in this case so you can know about it. So again, I was going to screenshot it. I'm not going to screenshot it because I don't want to use the words inside a screenshot to be read by the AI and that block this video. So I'm not screenshotting it, but you go to jjlegal.com/files and you'll see the things I'm talking about. Again, trigger warning because it alleged some really, really disturbing allegations about things that were done to minors by people in various different powerful people, including someone who is the most powerful position in the United States today. Very, very graphic, very, very disturbing. The type of stuff that, like, if we could talk about it another day. Anyway, I want to keep this. I want you to be able to see this video. I want you to be able to see these files. So here's the legal thing that you need to know. Okay, what you need to know is that on September 2025, the head of the FBI, Kash Patel, testified before the Senate Oversight Committee that he was not aware of any co-conspirators who this person, who is no longer with us, had shared or trafficked these minors to. No one else. And it was questionable because the senators at the time was like, are you serious? Are you trying to say there's no one else? And he said, well, I'm not saying there's no other victims. I'm not saying no one else involved. I'm just saying the universe of what we have is what we have. There's no more. Now, here's why you should take that with a grain of salt, because I did a recent video recently when I shared that I went down a rabbit hole of looking at Ghislaine Maxwell's emails, and I found that she was having conversations with at least 3 people, and part of the conversations it would be the subtext, and actually the covert text is they were referencing finding young women, arguably probably some girls, probably minors under 18, to service or to be available to Prince Andrews and to be available to this other person. Right? So, and there was discussion on pay for that service. There was discussion about the types. So all of that made me believe that these are co-conspirators. Also, one of the 3 people that I saw looking through Ghislaine Maxwell's emails on 1 hour during one evening sometime early in January, I found an actual name. One of the names that I found was not one of the names that's the name for co-conspirators that the FBI back in 2007 brokered a deal with in exchange for the corporation they got off. So it's not one of those 4 names. And the Ghislaine Maxwell's Department of Justice, she filed a habeas corpus pleading trying to open up her case, alleging that there are about 29 people who were part of it, who got sweetheart deals, who did bad things, horrible things, but she says that they, according to her, they arranged and got off and they did something and they didn't get charged. So she's like, those people, we don't know who those people are. So we do know about 3 of them, Leon Black, and then there was 2 other people that people alleged that probably were amongst them, but she's talking about 29. So there's a lot of other people. Obviously, we know that there's a cover-up to protect these people. As Donald Trump said, according to what's her name? According to Marjorie Taylor Greene, when Marjorie Taylor Greene signed off on the discharge position, the Democrats needed about 4 or 5 Republicans to sign off in order for them to force the release of the Epstein style, which is now the Epstein Transparency Act that passed last November 2017. Marjorie Taylor Greene said in press interviews that Donald Trump told her that a lot of his friends are going to be hurt. So as you watch, you hear Ghislaine Maxwell mention 20-something men. As you see, I'm going to, again, go to that document, jjlegal.com/files, which you can also find on my YouTube channel if you're watching this on YouTube, or head over to my YouTube channel just to be able to get a click over there. You're going to see the actual documents, and you're going to see names mentioned. And so some of these names mentioned may be amongst the people who Ghislaine Maxwell alleges were given sweetheart deals in order to not be prosecuted or named. There's a lot of protection of people who allegedly, it looked like, created crimes. I believe the victims, and so I know I am, has seen and communicated knowledge of in past in live streams of a person named Sasha Riley who made some striking allegations. So they haven't been vetted or verified. So I know some media entities, like mainstream media entities, have really covered this case. But a lot of other folks, other people who aren't like necessarily big names, me included, have advised people to take a look and take a listen and judge for themselves. Now, based on what Sasha Riley said and based on what's in these documents that just got released, you're going to see that there are parallels because there's allegations of people, young children, no longer being here, and them, and one of the people who the documents reference says that she was threatened to become fertilizer. This is what I'm saying is in there. So based on that, a guard, according to this person, threatening her to become fertilizer, and based on the allegations of Sasha Riley and other people in this thing, it would make you think, here's where it's getting the legal part, investigative part. There's law and there's order. If you have a investigation and someone says they have video and someone says, I'm aware of someone being buried someplace, the next thing would be, okay, let's go find out, especially if this person's still alive, where do you remember these places are? Let's conduct the investigation and go find out where these bodies are buried. Let's go exhume them. For those of you who know history and for example, the 4 civil rights freedom writers that disappeared on their way down to the South to go participate in some protest movement disappeared. And eventually, at some point, one of the persons who are responsible for the unaliving and the burying of those people confessed, and they were able to go exhume the bodies and they found them. And you watch any crime shows or you watch anything, and you just know just generally, it's a common thing when there's someone does something that in someone's life and they try to hide the body. You can go zoom in years after. And the thing about it is the bones and stuff like that don't right away. It takes a long time, like hundreds of years for the bones to erode. So if there really is truly those things there, the evidence is there. So it's up to the FBI. Once you get this allegation from this person, you say, okay, where are the videos? And then also, where do you remember these places be? And you start, the people who are alleged to have had those things, you go and investigate and you go start digging. You go start finding out. Now, here's something else you need to know. You also need to know that, and that's what the university need to know. Now I'm going to tell you something that you're going to need to know because there's going to be people inevitably who are not going to believe these allegations that you're going to go see or you might have seen. You need to tell them, remind them that this evidence that Department of Justice just released, it didn't come from us. We didn't make it up. It came from the Department of Justice. It didn't come from this person's estate because the book came from the estate. The Department of Justice custody when Donald Trump was president. When the person on top of the ticket was president the first time, and now he's the president again, these documents were in his possession. So he had dominion. His Department of Justice had access to them and control of them his first term and this term again. So to say that someone slipped them in there or whatever, or there's allegations of the complainants, the witnesses. There's not the first time. They say there's other people. So the extent to which you have multiple people alleging the same thing, your job is a fact-finding investigative organization, a body, as the Federal Bureau of Investigation has been known to be, is to go interview, find all these people, and corroborate their stories. Once they corroborate their stories, you can then go look for some actual physical evidence. So there's a lot there that makes them should be like this investigation. Why are you saying there's nothing there? Why are you saying there's nothing to no more witnesses? The case is kind of closed. Why are you stonewalling? Why you guys blacken things out? So it looks like a cover-up. It walks like a cover-up. It looks like a cover-up. It quacks like a cover-up. And now we see this information. We kind of know maybe that's why there's a cover-up. I'm going to leave it up to you. So JJ Legal, each one teach one. Share this video. Head over to jjlegal.com/files so you can see those things. And let's discuss later. This is a bombshell. I have something else on Don Lemon. This next video. Check it. Take care.